one's the best crypto asset? Bitcoin's the best crypto asset. Which one's the best crypto asset? Bitcoin's the best crypto asset. Which one's the best? 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 What's the second best?
Whoa, what is going on the markets today? Welcome to Discover Crypto. I'm your man, the Druth, and we are going to be doing an in-depth autopsy report on what the hell is going on with crypto and the large markets at hand. I have eaten my final turkey meal of leftovers. I had to plow through tons of food. So many people in my life I was able to spend time with over the weekend. Super grateful, and had a nice reaffirming of what is it that we are grateful for, talking those things out loud. And it's especially useful today as the markets are a absolute bloodbath battlefield right now. So make sure to smash the like, share the stream out with everyone in the world that needs to have a positive message of encouragement today as the markets are looking ungodly ugly. So hope you guys had a good Thanksgiving. I don't know if you do turkey, if you do ham. I personally cooked my first turkey of my life, the very first time that I hosted people at my house. And dare I say, it was the best turkey I've ever had. Don't tell my dad. He's probably going to crash out in the chat there. This is what the markets look like. Not great. Okay. A lot of red, a lot of pain. Okay. But there is hope in the end of the tunnel from what's going on right now. Thank you very much. Congrats. It was a stressful time cooking a turkey and it wasn't. I was hosting my no, I did not fry it. I'll give you the special sauce here. So I slathered bacon all over the turkey, but I also put under the skin a butter seasoning rub mix under the skin. Then I injected it with a Mexican injectable recipe: tomatoes, onions, garlic, bone broth. And then I put seasoning on the top of it, the bacon on top, and I also brined it overnight and then cooked it in the brine, cooked it on the grill, and dare I say, it was the best damn turkey I've had in my life. Make sure to give me a follow, you guys, at Druth Crypto. Shout out to Kelly. I know he's out there busy with stuff right now, but my man, Kelly Kellum as well. Make sure to give him a follow. Yeah, butter. Oh, yeah. Argentina. Shout out to you. Yeah, bacon is the way, though. Bacon, I think, just added that little extra onto the turkey. My kids absolutely loved it. It was huge. And I think I'm done Christmas shopping, especially with how the markets are looking right now. Thankfully, I got my Christmas shopping done early. Now, tonight's video that I did film right after DZ was done with his morning show is coming out tonight at 7 p.m. And it's discussing this further downside weekly candle that we're experiencing right now. We're only one day into this weekly trading scheme, and Lord love a duck, we have fallen by 7.39%. A lot of other projects are feeling that dark red right now. Zcash, one of the biggest losers in the pullback here, so we actually got to check out Zcash. Some folks were asking me to YOLO into that. Not really feeling like it. Not feeling like chasing the Zcash pump still. Maybe we'll have to take a look at SWI as well. But yes, there is, in this show today, I'm going to be going into an autopsy report on DeFi Llama to see which coins have had basically all the fun, all the people leave, and now it's only bag holders waiting to go to zero. So if you are in the chat right now and you have a project that you're the most concerned about, drop the ticker in the chat and maybe we can do some autopsy reports if there's ones over the others. Like I know DZ covered Celestia this morning. Let's take a look at some of these projects just to get real with ourselves, right? Because if we are entering a further escalation within Japan and the interest rates over in Japan, a vibe check to 70, 65K is not out of question. Concerned with Bitcoin. We'll address Bitcoin as well today. Plume, Atom, okay, Theta, AVAX, SWI, Ondo HBAR, XEN. Plume has been brought up a few times. VET. I think VeChain is the wackest, one of the wackest charts in crypto. I'm happy to dissect that body for you here. All alts, ADA, Cardano. I was on a show with Billy Goattails. Shout out to him this weekend. They assumed that I was a big ADA guy. I think it's just from my adjacency to DZ, maybe. I am not in ADA. I sold it at $1. Just hit its head too many times without any real uppityness. So got out of ADA. I did get out of Ondo as well at that $1 mark. I actually probably should go look at the Ondo chart. That's scary. Caspa, let's go look at Caspa too. I have a feeling maybe Caspa is actually looking better than the rest. In the office tomorrow. Love you too, Kelly Kellum. Good to hear from you, brother. Let's have a sip. Let's have a sip again. Oh yeah. All right. Now let's get into the juice. Not the God, I gotta choose my words a little bit more carefully. Let's go take a look at Bitcoin first. Mark, no problems. Got some fiat locked and ready to go. Good man. Good man. And shout out to the Discord. We got the short call from the quant in the middle of the night, and Lord love a duck, he hit those take profits on the head. Morpho, more than happy. I'm actually feeling decent about Morpho. So this is the Bitcoin chart. Honestly, the weekly momentum deep down, no green dot, no glimmer of hope on the weekly yet, but I would think that green dot's going to print at some point this week. But it's been a hell of a ride down. We actually got to measure this from the recent top at 126 down to where we're at right now is 32%. This is a big pullback, matches up and even outdoes this pullback of the Trump inauguration down to the trade war crash out. And we got to take a look at the yen carry trade. Lowest level that we hit was about 31.9%. So this pullback that we're in right now currently is bigger than both of these previous pullbacks here, causing a lot of reason for fright, a lot of fear. But I quantify really the end game of this yen carry trade in the video. And we have posts from this Coin Bureau talking about why Bitcoin dumped. That 2-year bond on the yield for the 2-year bond within Japan jumped above 1%. It means that borrowing in Japan may become more expensive. This scared global markets, pushed investors out of risk assets, including Bitcoin, and the macro-driven drop then broke support, triggering stop losses, forced leverage long liquidations, etc., what have you. Now, what I dive into and peel the layers behind this yen carry trade situation in tonight's video is actually the amount of money that's at stake to be lost here. It is much more than the entire market cap of crypto. There is a lot at stake, and I'm going to be diving into that. I think it's a time where you must stop being bored by macroeconomics, because macroeconomics are not bored with your bags, as you can tell from the shotgun shell to the downside for crypto. Now, on top of this, we have, and I might stream the Federal Reserve speech. I might. 1 in chat if I should, 2 in chat if I shouldn't. Let me know. You guys decide. Now, Yearn Finance got hit. On top of everything else going on, Yearn Finance was exploited for $9 million through a near infinite Yearn ETH token minting attack. According to PeckShield, 1,000 Ethereum worth $3 million was sent to Tornado Cash, while the exploiters' addresses hold $6 million still in crypto. Not a good look. Rocket Pool also down 5.9% before the big crash last night. Yearn has this $3 million configuration error despite people having zero exposure. Yearn is only, let's actually go look at the Yearn chart, because the Yearn exploit news came out. Yearn, if you weren't around, this was a crazy project. It hit like $100,000 per token last cycle. It was crazy. I got massive non-buyer's remorse after watching it run to 100K last cycle. And it's returned home. I mean, look at that chart. These lows. So we're at 3,000. Yeah, I mean, we're hitting extreme lows. We're hitting extreme lows right now. Let's go do an autopsy report on Yearn Finance. What say you guys? So I know we already covered Celestia. Not a good. Okay, before I move on, this is what Celestia's volume, fully diluted valuation, and unlocks look like. The red is not the money going in. This is the unlocks of the token. This is the tokens making into the hand of the greedy VC investors, ready to dump and squeeze what little blood is left out of that situation. Very sad. Very sad. Now let's go to Yearn and Finance. Now let's get after it. You better go. Is it going? There we go. All right. So this is the TVL, and it did have a little bit of a blip trying to come back up to the upside, but that blip to the upside might just have been the escape pump there. I mean, this looks pretty damn cooked. $403 million in total value locked. Now, in terms of, is it dead? Right. Let's look at the revenue. Let's look at, okay, so we got some revenue spikes here, which is good. We got some fees we got to add on here. So they're adding fees and revenue. So I'm not buying this. Dangerous as hell, too. They are cooking a little bit of revenue. Maybe not dead. I mean, I wouldn't say it's as dead as what Celestia looks like, but the token generation, I mean, it came out at like $400. So it's got quite a bit of ways to go down. It can still go down further. Not saying that. Before people really realize that the music has stopped playing. And this is like when I was talking about it being a selective alt season, if we have one, this is what I mean. This is why I've consolidated down the altcoin bag, right? I consolidated down to things that only made revenue, right? A lot of people, told me I was a fool or whatnot for doing so. It is what it is. It is what it is, right? I have a different perspective because I've already pulled profits a bunch of times during this market. So take that with a grain of salt. Now, check this out. Jerome Powell's next guy in line to take over the Fed chair, looking like Kevin Hassett. Trump was giggling when they asked about Kevin Hassett being the potential pick. Looks like he's a clear favorite to replace Jerome Powell. This guy was an ex-Coinbase advisor. So the backdrop of having a insanely bullish Fed chair that's been pro-crypto. Oh, my God. Shout out to this. Judge Wild, shout out to you. Raid in the stream. What a guy. Shout out to you. Thank you very much for that. Yeah, I like Kevin as our crypto pick for this Fed chair. I like him already. Tech, I'm feeling good about this. Now, the Federal Reserve interest rate decision is right around the corner. Jerome Powell's talking tonight. Man, maybe he will talk about his resignation. Maybe he'll talk about the process of him leaving the Federal Reserve, which could cause a little bit of a chaotic pump tonight. So we are still well slated for an interest rate cut in December. This interest rate meeting, the FOMC meeting, is in 8 days, 23 hours, and 45 minutes from now. Things are still looking green for us to have an interest rate cut. Will this save our altcoin bags? I doubt it. I don't think, and I haven't for a long time, that the interest rate cuts would moon us. And honestly, we seem to dump. Actually, we do dump after these federal interest rate cuts historically. So we'll see if that has any tangible change on it. Me, I'm not looking for anything that needs saving. My altcoin bags are in base, which I think are going to be forcible winners. I think the base network is going to win in a big way in the altcoin sector. So, that's my personal perspective. I'm not looking for these interest rate cuts to save my bags at all. And let's actually look at this. So Powell is going to deliver a speech today at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is happening when the Japanese bond market is cracking. And this is a big, big problem, especially because of Japan is the biggest holder of U.S. debt, right? If they do unload that U.S. debt, government's going to have to find buyers. You know who's been stepping up big as a buyer of U.S. debt? It's Tether. And Tether's got a lot of FUD going on. Tether has got a lot of FUD going on right now, which is very, very interesting timing. I'm going to pour myself a little drink. It's just a day. It's a day to have some drinks. We just did a bunch of crypto giveaways on the arena with duck racing. It's just, that's the vibe. Crypto Twitter just needed free crypto and duck races because there's even more FUD out there with MicroStrategy, aka in their current situation. Now, if you don't already follow Kobayashi Letter, I would absolutely recommend that. Bitcoin holdings, 55.2 billion. The debt holdings at 8.2 billion. Cash reserves announced today were 1.4 billion. And Bitcoin holdings minus the debt plus the cash equal 48.4 billion. Market cap of MicroStrategy is at 45 billion. The strategy's net Bitcoin holdings are now $3.4 billion above the company's market cap. The market is pricing in extreme amounts of risk right now. They're pricing in absolute cataclysm. Well, what happens if the cataclysm isn't really anything cataclysmic, just another 5% haircut, or maybe Vibe checking $70,000? What then? A violent resurgence in the value of strategy is what follows that, especially with those holdings metrics. Bitcoin sitting at right around $85,000. I'm snooping around on Blowfin and 2Bit. I'm checking out, doing a vibe check on Ethereum right now. I actually put a position in when I was getting ready for the show here. Let's check on it. All right, we're up. It's just like a little $600 or $700 play. We made $150. Stop loss at flatline. No big deal, no big deal. And this is a sad mention, from Patton McCrotch. If you invested $10,000 in Ethereum 5 years ago, you would have had $10,503 now after tax. A win is a win. Patton McCrotch, you savage person. This made me laugh so hard. Because if you think about it, this is why we don't top blast charts. The picture that you see here, the 5 o'clock shadow and the cigarette hanging out of the Ethereum token's mouth, is why we do not blast the tops of charts. Because even if it is a good long-term project, if you're top blasting, then you will live in perpetual pain as you are watching other projects dig themselves out of their holes. Your project that you top blasted isn't doing so, and then you come onto my show and tell me crypto is the biggest scam ever and you lost money only. Please, I do this publicly and I never top blast anything, ever. Even if I feel that it is incredibly bullish, never top blasting projects, because I don't want to be the holder of a bag top blasting as everyone else is taking profits on my head. Now, major things are going on in terms of macro events. We have November ISM manufacturing PMI data. Fed Chair Jerome Powell speaking tonight as well. Tuesday, tomorrow, September JOLTS job openings data comes out. Wednesday, the ADP non-farm employment data hits. November S&P Global Services PMI data, ISM non-manufacturing. And then Thursday, the jobless claims, initial jobless claims data hits. And Friday, PCE inflation data, December MI customer sentiment data. So there is an assload of jobless claims coming out, how well the manufacturing and production industries are doing. This data is going to be hitting this week, and it is going to be a wild one. Let's see here. Ondo and DAG. DAG's been one of my most aggravating projects. DAG has, I would be terrified. I'm terrified to look at the DAG chart because my average entry is like 2 cents, and I was not top blasting. I was buying the bottom, and it just continues. Check out lava. Someone do something. Jesus. Is it up to me to bullpost us our way out of this one on DAG? It's unbelievable. Now, this is also crazy. I had to highlight this. 24 cents of every US dollar collected in taxes goes to paying down the national debt. Imagine if the Biden administration started buying Bitcoin for the Treasury back in 2021 instead of buying a bunch of woke ideologies. And I was looking at the Christmases that we've had in years past under the Biden regime. And it was a bunch of fluffies and furries running around poking each other in the butt. And I'm glad things have changed culturally, that that's not the case anymore. And maybe I just got the channel canceled. That's why I need you to hit the like button. That's why I need you to share the stream. Okay. But that is the truth. That is what our White House looked like not but a few years ago. Plume, please. Yes. Remind me on Plume. We got to go look at Plume. I think Plume has been falling off a cliff. I got out of it like 8 cents or something. Podcast with Elon Musk, though, talked about energy is a true currency. Bitcoin being based in energy. And this is also tying into why I view Bitcoin as something being based in physics, based on the electricity cost and the infrastructure of electricity required to mine the Bitcoin. why I prefer Bitcoin over the vast majority of other crypto projects, is because it is based in physics. It is not based on some consortium of VCs on if they feel like pumping it this month or not. None of that stuff. It is based in physics and the cost of energy. And I think that what we'll see over the next few years is the national security aspect of Bitcoin be very, very clearly explained by the US government. This is a similar situation as the 1930s and gold in the United States before we ruled out a gold backed dollar. Now, that has some scary implications that I did cover on a video this weekend. But that's real. That is real. Been farming. I also been causing a little bit of chaos on VDEX. If I'm going after this airdrop, there's a nasty airdrop I'm going for. I think I'm a hammerhead now. So I've been collecting points, and it's gonna be huge. Here's the thing. People ask me, like, how'd you get so lucky on this project or the next? We do the test net, we go for airdrops, we go hard and break things in projects that aren't even released yet. And so doing this, going after an airdrop just makes sense for me, especially while everyone's all terrified. It's kind of perfect for me. Now, where's Bitcoin dominance look like? Let's see if it's going down. Let's see here. Bitcoin dominance. Ooh. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Continue down. Stay in your lane. Bitcoin dominance, if it continues falling in this lane, the markets have any sort of pump back up to 100, our alts are going to have a very, very good time. Maybe not so Ethereum. I can't get over this Ethereum picture. Oh my God. This is so crazy. Now let's go hop into alts. Let's go hop into the alts section here. I think the first one I got to look at is Plume. Because you see Plume, and I'll also go look at RWA.xyz to see how many RWA. God damn. It's a 1.9 cent extreme. When the hell is 8 cents at? Holy God. Yeah, this is so Hillbilly TA told me if we lose this, get out. And so we lost it. I got out. But I want to go look at RWA.xyz. I know DeFi Crypto and Airdrops Vet's been talking about doing the DeFi with Plume as well. Let's see here. RWA.xyz. I'm raw dogging potential FUD into our own community's bags. Going in. RWA.xyz is where you can find a lot of up-to-date information on how much money is on chain with whatever project it might be. Anyone's asking about if I feel good about Canton still, the answer is yes. Let's see, where is... Oh, snap. Plume isn't in the top 10 anymore. Uh-oh. All right, let's see here. Uh-oh. Let's see here. We're down 30% on distributed asset value. Represented asset value down 5. RWA holders up by 37th of a percent. Almost a percent. Not even. You can't round that up. Barely any movement on the holders. Let's see. Down 70% on 30-day transfer volume. Ooh. 7% down on stablecoin market cap. Stablecoin 30-day transfer volume is down 50%. Yikes. Okay. That's saying it's still number 3 in terms of assets or chains. Good Lord, though. I mean, so some of this activity pullback is quite concerning. Some of that pullback activity is kind of concerning. Yeah, this is a situation where I'd want just a true alt season to be, realized and come true before I would go back into this thing. Let's see here. And number 3 in terms of, let's make this bigger here. Let's make this a little bit bigger. RWA count. Okay, so it's number 3 in terms of RWA count. Looks like. Ugh. That's I need more alt season verification before I'd get it back into Plume. And maybe it comes back. Maybe it does come back. Let's see, it's down 5%. It's not giving like hardcore death vibes, but also Avalanche isn't. And I'm hearing some terrifying stuff internally about Avalanche. I am hearing some bad stuff about that. Yeah, it's bad. Right. That looks problematic. That looks problematic. Let's actually go. Let's keep moving here. So we got Bloom. Where's Aerodrome at? I know I got some for like 60 cents, but is it lower? Ooh, Aero. 59. No, 58. All right, it's slightly lower. Slightly lower. I mean, I still have a series of higher lows here. Let's go to DeFi Llama and check it out. Make sure some bucks are still in the ecosystem. Or has everyone left after Yearn in Japan? Let's see here. We're doing a live autopsy report as a family together. You have Avalanche? I have like dust of Avalanche left. Yeah, internal problems. Alex Jones was right. Yes, internal problems. I've been covering those too. I did a stream with one of the people that originated Avalanche. Late night with my buddy Matt. We're out there farming points. So the TVL, it's still playing around. Like I'd see a big bada boom problem if we lose around 300 mil. If we lose 300 mil, we could cascade back down to this, spot at 250, 200 right there. Still holding on. I did use Avalanche today. I'm not saying that's not a useful thing. But yeah, Avalanche is what happens when incredible tech finds its way into the hands of people that mean harm. All right. That's my opinion of it. And that's my personal opinion. That's what I think. So now let's keep going here. And keep in mind, guys, like a lot of my intent is to protect people from sadness, from badness. One of the things that I consistently feel good about is Chainlink. And I did see the spot ETF is expected to go live at the literal worst possible time this week. So is it going to save Chainlink? Probably not. I don't think Chainlink needs saving. Link also was added to the reserve today for the Chainlink reserve tracker. This was pretty nice to see. Continual buying of $1 million clips of Chainlink added to the Chainlink reserves. The reserve balance nearly 1 million Chainlink. So that's making me feel good. They're smoking their own sauce. They're believing in their own product and they're not leaving. And then you got things like this. Zach. This guy is behind Swift. He's hinting that Chainlink interoperating every piece of data through the new Swift blockchain for settlement. Swift continuing to evolve with an interoperable ledger and a layer to the entire digital asset and CBDC ecosystem will settle on. The idea of CBDCs, I think, is inevitable. What's not inevitable in the United States is if they're private or not. Now, this really has my aggravation high because I don't trust that CBDCs are going to allow private transactions. That is something that I don't feel is possible. And we are seeing test pilot programs for UBI through crypto, which is pretty sad, pretty ugly to me. The whole ethos of decentralization, privacy, pirate level finance, it's kind of gone. And we saw Bitcoin go absolutely haywire and lose major momentum over Japan even sneezing about macroeconomics, right? We have invited the devil to dinner with BlackRock coming in. We have all of these major institutions hammering in, and this is the pain that we get from inviting the devil to dinner, right? It's like that Trump speech of, helping the snake. You bit me, you damn snake. Why would you do that? It's a snake. It's going to bite you. These organizations are professional arbitrageurs. And now they are embedded heavily with crypto. We are having massive bags of Bitcoin being bought up, OTC, not affecting the price going up. And then when it's time for them to sell, do some washouts, that is sold on the regular market and causes a massive, massive decline. So this is part of the aggravation. But ex-waffly, I think Bitcoin is still going to $1 million. I think Bitcoin is going to be there as a black hole of interest when all these other macroeconomic factors really, truly begin to break. Bitcoin is a system for where there is no trust to be had between nation states. They gravitate to a trustless system, something that they don't need to trust the person behind the screen to not be screwing them on. That is where Bitcoin comes into play. That is where Bitcoin comes into play. And I think it's very, very important to understand that the less trust that there is between these nation states, the better it is for the network effect of Bitcoin to take over the world at large as a whole. I do feel that way very, very strongly. So just take that with a grain of salt. Now, we got to look at something kind of scary as well. I had a side note to do this just to go look at NFTs. You can go check out like the NFT ecosystem, see if they're going to survive this on CoinGecko and go to the NFT section. So let's see. CryptoPunks down 17% on the 30-day, but is there anyone that's okay? So Entropy Acolytes is going up. What are these? Oh, the Pizza Ninjas are no Bitcoin Ordinals hitting their final hurrah. I think Bitcoin and Bitcoin Ordinals was a very interesting attack on Bitcoin through congesting the network. It caused a little bit of advancement and development of Bitcoin. But at the end of the day, this looks like it might be a failing experiment. It does. These ordinals, Pizza Ninjas were like the thing. I think at their Pico top, what did they hit? They hit like 0.2 of a Bitcoin. Oh, God. Good Lord. That is absolutely brutal. Now, CryptoPunks are worth $83,000. These things were going for an ungodly amount of money last cycle. Right around 125 Ethereum is what they were going for back at the peak, November 21. Jeez Louise. So I have no interest in buying any, like Pudgy maybe. Pudgy maybe. That's a much better looking chart. Actually, this looks like a decent spot. This looks like a decent spot for Pudgy. But keep in mind, I am an insane person that talked to Hannah about Pudgy's way back here. But, you know, this list is crazy. Frank DeGods being number 7 for the top 100 most influential persons. Jesus, number 1, of course. Napoleon, Muhammad, Shakespeare, Abraham Lincoln, George. Okay, we're going to go on here. Let's go back to DeFi Llama. Now, Morpho. Let's go to Morpho. Let's see what Morpho looks like. I swear it sounds like someone's playing ping pong behind me. Energy Coin. Energy Coin QI. What the hell? I have no idea what you're talking about. What looks like a middle finger? Where it looks like a middle. Oh, this? Yeah. This was a that's when they had a Pudgy airdrop and you had to own the NFT to get the airdrop for Pudgy token. And so like overnight, people just hammered into this thing. And then once they got their airdrop, they sold it back down, right? In general, I think the defendable floor of this, let's actually go. I think the defendable floor of Pudgy is right around like 3.5 ETH, maybe 3 ETH. So that is something like if I see it around there, Pudgy is the only. It's an NFT that has games. It's sold products in Walmart. It's taken over Southeast Asia by storm. It's like the same things that don't make sense to us in America as far as like K-pop and how big K-pop got or is. They are taking the world by storm in Asia, right? So it's something a little bit beyond an NFT. And it's something that's had a special place in my heart all along the way. I actually have a What is this? Let me see if I got it here. Oh, yeah. Look at this. The Boog. The Boog penguin. He stays. The Boog penguin stays. I think they've done something pretty cool. Selling actual products, taking over certain niche markets. I think it's what you got to do. If you're going to roll out an NFT, it's not a useless NFT, which is what I like. I do like that. So, yeah, I will be eyeballing it pretty FOMO-y if I do see it go down to, if I see Pudgy at 3 ETH, I'm probably going to buy it. Let's check this out here. So the TVL on Morpho. All right. And then let's overlay this with price. Adding price, adding price. The TVL doesn't look horribly concerning to me just right off the rip. Price is holding steady for it. Price is holding steady, Freddie. Now, is it still number 2 in terms of lending? Let's make sure. I'm seeing if I can FUD my own bag. They're also a NASCAR sponsor. Are you kidding me? I didn't even know that. Pudgy's getting it. They are out there. They out there, right? You want to see a product that stays out there, hell or high water, it's Pudgy. The guy also, Luca Nets, he made the, I don't have one in there, but the gel blasters. He was actually the guy behind the gel blaster. All right, so lending, nice. All right, so Aave is still sitting at TVL of 30 billion, Morphos at 5.7 bill. Just Lend is behind it at 3.5. Okay, so we're still holding on nice and steady, Freddie, at the lending side of things. I feel good about Morpho. Now let's go look at price, because there's a lot of FUD, there's a lot of pain in the chart, so we might get cheaper prices. Let's see. Let's do some male astrology. Everything's, oh no, it all's gone wrong. All right. Yeah, dude. I mean, like right around $1. I'm getting more. I got lucky, or I don't know if it was luck, but I backed the truck up on like Morpho at 87 cents. I could have got it for 70, 60 some odd cents in there, but I bought this dip. I bought that dip. Golly, could have got it for 60, 70 cents. If I see it in this lower band zone, I'm getting more. And that's right around $1, Let's go look at Caspa. Let's have some fun. Let's go look at Caspa. Rock the Caspa. Jock the Caspa. I'm not going to hold against it for losing some action today because everyone did. Let's see here. Caspa. It's defending this original pump 2 moment. It really is. It really is. If it keeps like waddling right here, I mean, like there's a lot of lack of interest and stuff like that, but I could see Litecoin and other coins like it kind of leading the charge for a proof of work resurgence. Let's see here. Celestia we covered. There's no hope for Celestia. M City. I covered that earlier. I want to come up with hope, but I can't find the place where it. The charger savage. So Litecoin, let's just take a breath and look at the larger scheme of things. A series of higher lows, a proof of work, jazz hands, right? And yes, it pumps like crazy and then crashes like crazy, pump like crazy, blah, blah, blah. But I mean, look, you have a very, very clear set of higher lows. This is why I like projects that are based on energy cost, man. I really, really do. As long as they have staying power, they don't have evil people behind the sticks. Like this is just a set of higher lows. Not bad, Litecoin. Not bad. Litecoin deserves more respect. Litecoin deserves more respect. Let's go look at Injective. Let's go look at Injective. This is serious. My mom used to be a CSI, so I know how to do this autopsy stuff pretty good here. Shout out to you. Shout out. Take your son to work day was weird for me. Maybe that's why I have such a grim sense of humor. All right, so let's hear TVL. Oh, he was trying to rise and then sharp research pullback. Let's see your chain revenue. Show us any good news here. We already know the bad news, and then maybe we'll get Injective price and overlay that. The revenue's on a steady decline. Revenue is on a steady decline right here. Oh, yeah. This, Okay. So now we got to address the situation here. I don't hold injective. I can't even remember. I cheated it like years ago. Let's see here. I don't even think I made money off injective either. I like got out at a flat line, but I know it was in the teens. It was way higher than it is now. God dang. Yeah, and this is like when you feel the music has stopped and the revenue is gone. Um, you just got to analyze the room. You got to read the room. It is at a literal OG original pump 2 moment, but this is the real accumulation floor. This is the real accumulation floor at about $1.50. Yeah, Link has actually some pretty decent news. It's at the wrong time. They're launching their ETF this week. The better news is that here's the better news about Chainlink, and really to quantify this is that the people that run Swift, Tom Zach and the rest of them, they are not going to allow a giant egg on their face from talking about Chainlink publicly. This is important to take note of. When you have masters of the current way that money moves from point A to point B, talking about anything in particular, they have a vested interest to make sure it's not an egg on their face when it's all said and done. Tom, very interesting character. He's actually been bull posting about Chainlink for quite some time. And here, I don't know if I follow him here. No, I'm not signed in. Here he is on LinkedIn, though. And his credentials just, he works at Swift. I know he's a CIO, but he has been very, very vocal about his bullishness on Chainlink and what it does. And this is why, when I'm looking around for something that is infrastructurally important, I really don't have many options when it comes to altcoins, right? It's very tailored down to Chainlink, Aerodrome, Morpho. Let me see, I got Canton. Let's actually look at the portfolio here. Let's go look, because I know there's got to be some projects that are caused. DAG has been crushing me. I had a small allocation of DAG, and it's still aggravating. All right, so let's see here. Constellation DAG is the least of the losers, but I'm still down. My entry point's at 2 cents. It's at 1.2 cents. Not great. Marinade, extreme lows. Structurally important for staking on Solana. I bought some. Camino, same thing as Marinade. It's a staking mechanism for Solana. I think the staking on Solana is going to be a very, very interesting thing for Wall Street to get into. So that's why I added a basket of these. Linnea is the only other project in crypto that has a public relationship and a working relationship with Swift, right? So Linnea, it's a consensus-backed layer 2 to Ethereum. It connects to Chainlink and Swift. It's a very low market cap, so I took a little swing at it, like a 1 or 2% of my portfolio play. Not too much exposure. Morpho is a bigger chunk of my portfolio, $1.35. If I see it around $1, I'm getting more. XRP, I hold for the culture. Now, this is where a lot of people are holding. A lot of people are holding XRP. XRP is at the edge of a very dangerous cliff. XRP is at the edge of a cliff. Now, this, if it loses the $2 mark with Confluence and Veracity, $1.50 vibe check is absolutely a minimal pullback level for XRP. I had a barber doing my fabulous hair, and shout out to you. Gave me a great haircut. He's giving me guff because, I couldn't sell him any major bullish outlook for XRP. Like, I was told XRP is going to $100. And I'm like, well, I am sorry that you were told that. I'm sorry that you listened. So, this is stuff I deal with in real life too. Right? It really is stuff that I deal with in real life. And I got loved ones that hold XRP. They're looking for the pump too. And honestly, it's on the edge. Like if we do see a vibe check for Bitcoin at 65, 70K, XRP is going to go check out how much support is here at $1.50 to $1. It is. So, and is this accumulation zone? I wouldn't call this accumulation zone right now. I am getting into projects only that are like producing revenue, have verifiable partnerships with meaningful institutions. Not any of the hopium, none of the pumpamentals. Pumpamentals don't mean anything to me in terms of my interest. I see all kinds of new tickers come on across the board all the time. I don't really feel like getting into them because right now I'm fine buying cheaper Bitcoin. If we're going to continue going down, I'm going to buy Bitcoin down all along the way. Now, if I see Chainlink at or below $10, yes, I'm going to be very aggressive there. If I see Morpho at $1 or less, yes, I'm going to be very aggressive there. Aerodrome under 50 cents, again, yes. But for the vast majority of these other things, no. I'm going to let some dust settle. I'm going to try to see if we see. Here's where we're at. So the US government is in more debt than we ever have been in history. We have Trump with the biggest ego on the planet going into 2026 with midterm elections. We have banks underwater on losses more than they ever have been. And what the concept of the 4-year cycle and this cycle being done also includes is the US government refusing to inject liquidity at their worst financial moment in their entire history. Let's just be honest with ourselves. If we're saying that this market is done, then we are also assuming that we are going into a Great Depression. Because if they do not inject liquidity, hundreds, if not thousands of mid-sized banks are going under. Are they going to let that happen? Are they going to let the $120 trillion real estate industry in single family alone take a 30% haircut? Ask yourself this very pointed, serious question, because I'm surrounded by people that are just completely beat down, negative, and cynical. And I am cynical about the fact that they're going to fake an injection of liquidity. I would rather fiscal responsibility come to this country and let it fall, right? This is why I position my life the way that I have. So I'm a pillar of strength for my community if they finally act responsible and stop selling our children's future down the road for a quick buck. That's not going to be the case, though. This is death by 1,000 cuts. This is a slow destruction of people's livelihoods through the dollar they're forced to hold. This is why I like keeping crypto. This is why my crypto's on a cold storage device. Shout out to you, Arculus. I like using cold storage device. And this is not a number go up ethos that I have. This is all about control. My involvement with crypto is completely about control. So just to be clear with everyone in the room. Now, again, back to, is the cycle done? Are they going to let the business cycle basically go into the negative and all these companies go under, all of these workers be put out of work without even AI taking over? The answer is no. And the only way that the Mag 7 and this AI financial centipede stops working is if Oracle and NVIDIA and all these other companies decide to stop working with each other. Is that feasible? Ask yourself these simple questions. It's a bubble, yes. Are they willing to pop it? That's the question at hand, right? That's the question at hand. So that's the dearth, and I'm sticking to it. That's the dearth, and I'm sticking to it. Right now, things are heavy, though. Right now, things are heavy. This is a great write-up, too, from Jay. I've hosted some shows with Jay. If we don't get a spark soon, the industry is going to look very, very different in 12 months. There's no way around this. Crypto is a make or break moment right now. Believes the bull market is nowhere close to being over, because if it is, altcoins melt. Many of them are going to melt to zero regardless. But the entire sector, everything that the ruled asset class is trying to do, will be destroyed if there is no liquidity injection. Not to mention the $30-40 trillion that'll be lost in single family housing alone. Then you add in, where's commercial real estate? It's dragging banks literally into FDIC seizure. Okay. This is the situation at hand. Memes, they already collapsed. I'm not interested in. Actually, I have a meme that if you are in the If you're in the Blockchain Basement Discord or the Discover Investments Group Discord, send me a DM. Send me a DM. I made like 200% on this thing. It's too chaotic to bring up on the stream. It's too chaotic. Yeah, you swore. Yes, I am. And I got a new one. I got a new one for the 10 milli. Okay. And it's a finished brown leather. I'm very excited. But 10 milli, you know what? We talk about, oh, the bubbles burst. All these nerds that are talking about the bubble's going to burst and all our coins are going to zero and the macroeconomic environment sending all things to zero. They are not preparing for if things do go to zero. They don't know how to dig a Dakota hole, make a fire without putting smoke out. They don't know tripwires. They don't know all of these things that you would need to use if the thing did happen, right? It's so insane to me. It's so insane to me. It's like, it's the nerdiest thing in the world to be talking about a Great Depression taking hold and then also not learning how the United States citizens survived during a Great Depression, right? I'm not saying it's not possible. I'm not saying it's not possible. I like anything at 50 cents or under for Aerodrome, brother. I did add some Aerodrome though last week. It was like 65. It was right around like 65 cents. Like I added some Aerodrome. Pretty decent amount too. I really think that the idea that we as crypto natives and 4-year maximalists assume that we're going to out trade BlackRock, sovereign wealth funds, and literal nation states with our little 4-year plan is absolutely insane to me. We're going into a year of midterm elections. Trump understands at a local level, Republicans just got shellacked. Trump has the biggest ego on the planet. The Jerome Powell move out, he's bringing Kevin Hassett in, an ex-advisor to Coinbase, and we're selling our bags right now. What the hell is going on? What the hell is going on? Oh, Pat and McCrotch, you
are banned!
Get yourself a good dad like mine. Shout out to you, Pops. The Mormons, man, they put up a fight. And, you know, there was other reasons why they had multiple wives, right? They had a big task in front of them. They had to have big families to take it on. So I understand emotions out there. I understand why people are scared. What we can take back from this situation is that crypto is now tied to macroeconomics in a way that was only made in nightmares. The macroeconomic situation is very, very dire right now. And if a massive amount of liquidity is not injected, not only within America, but the EU, Japan, across the board, the system of fiat, not just in the US, but worldwide, will collapse, thus civil unrest. Choose what you think is going to happen. You think they're going to allow that to happen? They're going to have financial responsibility and let it go to zero, reset it, and then do so? Maybe. I'm betting on a falsification of good times. I'm betting on an injection of liquidity to patch the bullet wound with a Band-Aid. That is what I've seen time and time again. And that is what it is. Do I still believe Arrow's going to $10? Yeah, I damn well do. I think that the power consolidation of altcoins is going to be painful and precise. And this is why my bag is that way. All these other plays, they're small percentages of my portfolio. Vast majority of the altcoins is in Chainlink, Aerodrome, Morpho, right? Very, very simple. So you guys just need to take a breath. I understand things are scary. Just let's practice what we preach. Do not top blast charts. Do not top blast charts because it'll leave you with a gut-wrenching feeling. Even if it's a basic, normal market pullback, it'll leave you with a gut-wrenching feeling. Have patience, precision, and above all, love your family and take care of your wife and your kids because God love it. This country needs more family infrastructure. Be good. Have a smile, even if there's one in the chamber. And with that, I bid you adieu.
We just wanted to take a quick second to shout out our sponsor, Arculus. They are a cold storage hardware wallet, helps you secure all of your digital assets for the future. Just tap this thing to the back of your phone and boom, you're in. We wouldn't be able to do this without them, but also wouldn't be able to do this without you guys, the Disco fam. You've supported us a lot over the years. If you want to support the channel now, just use the code DC20. It gets you 20% off this card. It's the #1 way you can support this channel going forward. Thank you for your support. We'll see you at the top.